Hi. Hi. Sorry. Thank you for the extension. I know it's a little bit late, but my sister also had an emergency C-section, and it was a very traumatizing, crazy birth to watch, and I'm exhausted. I've only slept maybe 7 hours in the past 72, so please forgive me if if this is yeah. I'll try my best. All right. So my name is Tiffany McKimmon. I was born in Brandon, Manitoba, and my reserve is Birdtail Sioux, which is about an hour and a half north of Brandon. I've lived in Saskatoon for about 13 years now, and I decided to move there to go to the U of S, and then I also graduated with my sociology degree, and then decided to pursue social work just to go a little bit further in my education, and then I ended up meeting my husband there, so I've made it my home. So for my art project, I've decided to do a painting. I've always painted as I always painted as when I was a child, and so with life being busy and all that stuff, I haven't really had the chance to do it. So it was really nice to just sit down and paint and take that time to reflect and whatnot. So here's my painting. Back a little bit. I'll just hold it here, I guess. I'm presenting a piece I painted to represent the content associated with this class. I didn't really name it because I don't really know what to name it, but I call it my truth painting. I don't really know, but I kind of got lost in my thoughts about it, and so it is based on the story of Turtle Island and how Indigenous believe that North America is situated on the turtle's back, and I will explain the story. So for the Ojibwe and Anishinaabe people, the legend is as follows. I'm going to read it off my laptop because I don't really know the story off my heart, but yeah. Long ago, after a great mystery of Kichi Manitou, first people of the earth, the Anishinaabe or original people, strayed from their harmonious ways and began to argue and fight with one another. Brother turned against brother, and soon the Anishinaabe were killing one another over hunting grounds and other disagreements. Seeing that harmony, brotherhood, sisterhood, and respect for all living things no longer prevailed on earth, Kichi Manitou decided to purify the earth. He did this with water. The water came in the form of a great flood, or Mushko Biwan, upon the earth, destroying the Anishinaabe people and most of the animals as well. Only Nana Buzu, the central figure in many of Anishinaabe oral traditions, was able to survive the flood, along with a few animals and birds who managed to swim and fly. Nana Buzu floated on a huge log searching for land, but none was to be found, as earth was now covered by the great flood. Nana Buzu allowed the remaining animals and birds to take turns resting on the log as well. Finally, he spoke. "I'm going to do something," he said. "I'm going to swim to the bottom of this water and grab a handful of earth. With this bit of earth, I believe we can create a new land for us to live on with the help of the four winds and Kichi Manitou." So Nana Buzu dived into the water and was gone for a long time. Finally, he surfaced in a short breath, and the short breath told the animals that the water is too deep for him to swim to the bottom. All were silent. Finally, Mang, the loon, spoke up. "I can dive under the water for a long way. This is how I catch my food. I will try to make it to the bottom and return with some earth in my beak." The loon disappeared and was gone for a very long time. Surely, thought the others, the loon must have drowned. Then they saw him float to the surface, weak and nearly unconscious. "I couldn't make it there. There must be no bottom to this water," he gasped. Then Zingibis, sorry, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, the held diver, came forward and said, "I will try next. Everyone knows I can dive great distances." So the Helldiver went under. Again, a very long time passed, and others thought he surely had drowned. At last, too, he floated to the surface. He was unconscious. Not until he came to could he relate to the others that he was unable to fetch the earth from the bottom. Many more animals tried but failed, including Zhong Wei, the mink, and even Mitzi K, the turtle. All failed and seemed as though there was no way to get the much-needed earth from the bottom. Then a soft muffled voice was heard. "I can do it," it spoke softly. At first no one could see that who it was who spoke up. The little Wazuk, sorry. Muskrat stepped forward. I'll try, he repeated. Some of the others, bigger, more powerful animals, laughed at the muskrat. If Muskrat wants to try, he should be allowed to. So Muskrat dove into the water. He was gone much longer than any of the other animals who tried to reach the bottom. After a while, Nana, Buzu, and the other animals were certain that Muskrat had given his life trying to reach the bottom. Far below the water surface, Muskrat had in fact reached the bottom. Very weak from lack of air, he grabbed some earth in his paw with all the energy he could muster and began to swim to the surface. One of the animals spotted Muskrat as he floated to the surface. Nanabuzu pulled him up onto the log. "Brothers and sisters," Nanabuzu said, "Muskrat went too long without air. He is dead." A song of mourning and praise was heard across the water as Muskrat's spirit passed on the spirit world. Suddenly, Nanabuzu explained, "Look, there's something in his paw." Nanabuzu carefully opened the tiny paw. All the animals gathered close to see what held so tightly there. Muskrat's paw opened and revealed a small ball of earth. The animals all shouted with joy. Muskrat sacrificed his life so that life on earth could begin anew. Nanabuzu took the piece of earth from Muskrat's paw. Just then the turtle swam forward and said, "Use my back to bear the weight of this piece of earth. With the help of Kichi Manitou, we can make a new earth." Nanabuzu put the piece of earth on the turtle's back. Suddenly the wind blew from each 4 directions. The tiny piece of earth on the turtle's back began to grow. It grew and grew and grew until it formed a mini sea or island in the water. The island grew larger and larger, but still the turtle bore the weight of the earth on his back. Nanabuzu and the animals all sang and danced in the winding circle of the growing island. After a while, the 4 winds ceased to blow and the waters became still. A huge island sat in the middle of the water, and today that island is now known as North America. Traditional Indian people, including Ojibwe, hold special reference to the North America reference to the turtle who sacrificed his life and made possible for Earth's second people. To this day, the muskrat has been given a good life. No matter that the marshes have been drained, their homes destroyed, in the name of progress, the muskrat continues to survive and multiply. The muskrats do their part today in remembering the Great Flood. I'm just gonna move this up. And they built their homes in the shape of a little ball of earth and the island that was formed on it. When doing this painting, I thought of Turtle Island and had put the 4 colors of red, black, white, and yellow to represent the people on the turtle's back. The water around it represents the sacred water of the earth that indigenous people are trying to protect, and then the vines around it were a symbol of Mother Earth, and I put it all around the turtle's back to show what indigenous people have been trying to protect. And these are the land, the water, and treating everyone equally and sharing the land. And the outside represents what colonization and genocide has brought with contact. Indigenous people are always in constant war of these issues to protect their rights, their land, their water, and their identities. I wrote a bunch of things on the outside that Indigenous have had to face, and I also got my son to put handprints to represent missing and murdered women, and then the children in residential schools and the unmarked graves. And then I don't know if you can see there, after I was done the painting, I had realized that there's a little tiny heart in the orange handprint, which I thought was pretty cool and significant to the message I was trying to get across. So I based my art piece on the class 4's material when it comes to colonization and the awful things that it came with and what Indigenous people had to go through. And then in watching the video, Canadians have been breaking their promises to Indigenous people. That video kind of hit me a little bit hard because, you know, we're as I am Indigenous as well, and it's Canada is continuously breaking promises and giving fake apologies and trying to sweep, I guess, what they had done underneath the rug, and just, yeah, and the health and well-being of Indigenous people has deteriorated greatly because they have lost their ways of living and their cultures and traditions that are extremely important for Indigenous well-being. As the video states, with the treaty signing, Indigenous people did not understand they were signing away all their rights because they were simply thinking they had an agreement to share the land. That is where the turtle comes in my painting, because it, like I said, it was a depiction of how Indigenous people just wanted to share the land and live in harmony with one another. And all this is how the Canadian government came, and with their Eurocentric views, and stripped Indigenous people of their rights and left them with all these things around Mother Earth and Turtle Island that they've had to deal with. I put a lot of thought into this painting. I can continue to talk forever about Indigenous issues, as I am very passionate about them, because as I stated, I am Indigenous, and all these issues affect, you know, myself, my kids, my community, my home in Turtle Island, and all that. And I also have like a very strong, loud voice, and have been advocating for Indigenous people for quite some time, and it is my passion, so that is why I decided to take social work. Also, I find this class very interesting. I really liked how you stressed about respecting Indigenous people and making sure to call them Indigenous, because it all talks about all the cultures and everybody Indigenous coming in together, and how they've all been affected by colonization and cultural genocide, and being Indigenous is something that needs to be respected, and as well as their traditions. But thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed my presentation and my painting, as I was trying to get this powerful message out for this project. Once again, I apologize for it being late. I'm extremely exhausted, but I'm glad I got it done. Thank you very much.